Friday, everyone. Your real worth isn't defined by your net worth. What makes you valuable is how you use what you have been given. All of us have gifts. Make sure you're making the most of yours. Have an amazing Friday.
It is now the bottom of the hour. I'm excited to welcome Nancy Matthews to our program today. Nancy is an author of a book. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it in the carousel for you guys. There it is, The One Philosophy. I want to talk to Nancy not only about the re-release of the book, but also what it's been like for her to share the message with all of you guys. Nancy, great to have you on with us.
Hello, hello, hello. So happy to be here.
Although it may seem a little mundane, packing up boxes and, being on the assembly line, what we're really doing is putting in hundreds of hours into the people on the streets who need us. And they need us in a way that none of us will ever understand. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been on the grounds every day. They know we're coming today, they know we're coming tomorrow, and they look forward to seeing us because we're the one little bit of hope that they have to have a warm meal in their bellies and to know that somebody in the world is actually caring for them and loving them. And without people like you showing up today to give your time, your energy, and your spirit, none of this is possible. So I want to really say thank you to everyone, because what we're doing here today may seem small, but it's actually really, really big, and it's impacting hundreds and thousands of families. So I thank you, I love you, I look forward to doing this with you today.
My name is Serena Boffelino, and I am the founder of Help Heal Humanity. Help Heal Humanity is a charity that is focused on unconditional giving, love, and support to some of the most vulnerable communities in the world.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a Team O Buddy for life.
We are a Buddies Network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
When you do nothing, nothing happens. Best time to take action is now.
This is the time to work on you and your business.
So I've created a group,
an online academy for professionals and entrepreneurs. Power Partners will help you
to start helping yourself.
Helped me change my life and my business.
Not a Toastmasters, it's not a BNI, it's not any of these, but it is. So it's all this stuff in one place.
Get the results that you deserve right now. So what are you waiting for? Let's make it happen.
See you in Power Partners.
Good morning. Well, thank you. I have had an absolutely great weekend. You know, as you get older, you either celebrate your birthday or you ignore your birthday.
Yeah,
well,
that's what
you do one or the other. So I have decided that I celebrate my birthday. So I've had 4 days of birthday. I started Friday night with my Friday night out for dinner, Saturday night out for dinner, Sunday at church with a picnic, and Monday yesterday went out for breakfast.
See,
notice they're all food things, things. However, it was so much fun to have.
You deserve that. You deserve that.
You know, 4 days of birthday. I mean, because I truly believe that we don't celebrate nearly enough.
No.
You know, we poo-poo the idea of celebrating ourselves because, oh, well, what if it's bragging? To church, I wore a little button that said, it's my birthday.
Oh.
You know, yes, we do it. We really do need to do it because people love to celebrate. People like to have an excuse to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't always want to do it for themselves. So when you do it for yourself,
yeah,
it gives other people a chance to also celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people came up to me and said, "Oh yeah, my birthday was yesterday too." You know, or my birthday was last week, or my birthday is next month.
You know what? It's funny because when you do, like, you know, if you say it's your birthday or whatever, you will get a lot of people coming up to you or saying, "Oh yeah, I was a birthday," you know. So they all like go together now. It's like, wow.
It's a bonding moment. And that's what it is so funny because sometimes people say to me, well, you know, like, well, how do you start a conversation? Well, wear a little button that says it's your birthday. You know, if it is your birthday, but things like that. And it really is. People love to talk to people. People love to talk to each other. We are wired to be social. We're wired to be social. Yeah. So that's my little and then I bought myself a birthday present. Well, I've been looking for a red jacket. And I found it in a little shop close, not too far from my house. I was like, oh, and it was on sale.
Oh, see, it was just for you.
It was
just
just for me. It was happy birthday to Barbie. So I did that on Wednesday. So actually, I guess my birthday started on Wednesday because I got my jacket on Wednesday. And
So, you know what some people do? I know some people tell me, they said, Barbara, I just celebrate for the whole week. I mean, no, for the whole month. They just said
a friend of mine does the
their
whole month, every
they
day.
just say, it's the whole month. It's their birthday, and they're going to celebrate the whole month. And I'm like, hey,
and they do.
You should. And I know some people that do for the whole year. So it depends on the person.
Exactly. So this was really the first time that I've really, just, I think partly it was scheduled too, of just my son called me up on Friday morning and said, gee, Mom, do you want to go to, we'll give them a plug. We went to Cooper's Hawk.
Okay. I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah. It was, I mean, we had wine, we had lobster bisque. So good. Then I ordered McDonald's, and then they brought us truffles for our dessert to celebrate our birthday. Oh, they were so good. I might have to go back just for the truffles.
What you said? Let's go back to that one. Like, yeah.
It was so good. But anyway, so how was your weekend? So now that we've we've played around with.
Well, first of all, I'm glad that people celebrated with you, except yourself. So
now I've got to go back and thank everybody on Facebook and on Messenger, and so that's my thing for today. I have some extra time. I'm going to go back and just thank everybody for,
Well, it's funny because you shared, talking about sharing birthdays. You shared a birthday with LaWanna Bradford. Her birthday was May 22nd, so she celebrated all last week, and she was at home. Well, her second home, I call it, with her mother and dad, because her mother, I think, 80. I'm probably gonna get 87, and her dad's like 96.
Oh wow!
And she goes to visit him a lot because of that, and she wants to make sure he's around. And she did it for her birthday. And basically, I think she started at Tuesday or Monday, like you said. Went through the whole week. She shut herself down from social media. She, then they went somewhere really nice because they're in Arizona. So I think they went to Sedona.
Oh, Sedona's beautiful.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh my God," she said.
If you haven't been to Sedona, it is absolutely just beautiful. I always just think of it as just God is just showing off. It's like
he shows off.
It's great. That and the Grand Canyon, of course. There are some.
I will never forget. I was in Grand Canyon. I was like, I was just like that, but I was like,
awe.
I was just in awe. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, you said he was showing off big time. I was like,
showing off big time.
Oh my God. Yeah. But what I remember, I don't know why this popped in my head the other day with you, but I was thinking about you again with you, and when you and Carol I think you was on a trip or something just a month ago or something.
Yeah.
And you took that the helicopter.
That was first time up in a helicopter. I have to tell you, my heart was pounding. I'm like, am I really going to do this? And it was like, so it just tip to seniors, just say yes. Whether it scares the living daylights out of you, just say yes. Because it was just such a great experience to fly. I mean, and I wouldn't want to go up on a really windy, awful day, but it was beautiful. And flying over the desert, and we just said, well, just do your own thing. What would you do? And he took us on some the little swoops and the turns, and it was absolutely so fun. You cannot imagine seeing up close and personal. Like from an airplane, you see the mountains, absolutely. From the ground, you see the mountains, but in a helicopter, you see the mountains. It was very cool. It was very cool. Do it again. I'll absolutely do it again.
And that's what, I brought that up because, like I said, I was thinking about you and that, and then all the other things see you on the boat sometime, you be on the motorcycle sometime.
Yeah.
I mean, you have just been living life, and that's what it's all about. It's about just living life at your fullest. Yeah. And that's what you do, and you show that so nice.
That's what I do
to people.
Yeah.
So I commend you for that. I really commend you. And hopefully people are watching. You should have like a new thing called Barbara's Adventures of Life, and then just do pictures and videos. We go.
It's so funny that you're saying that, because I've been kind of thinking of it. Just because what you do and how how you, it's not what you do, it's how you are being. And I want people to realize, statistically, they're saying that by the year, I think I've shared this before, but by the year 2035, they are going to be able to double the life expectancy.
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
So that is, I mean, that's not from any particular company. It is from science. I just happen to be involved in companies that are using the science to make products. You know, and then
That's
so
fascinating.
we are getting paid to be healthy and to share it out with other people who want to be healthy. Rather, you know, like people, I think companies advertise. They're going to do it one of two ways. They're either going to advertise through media, which they're going to pay the Michael Jordans of the world. They're going to pay the Fox News, the Fox television stations. They are going to pay big sponsorships to get their products. They're going to put print ads. They're going to put regular ads. That's how they're going to spend their money. They're going to, because they have to let people know about their products. With what I do, they're paying us, the consumers. We are already taking the products. So when people say, well, how are you being so vibrant and how are you pain free from that my joints are pain free? Well, let me tell you, and I'll tell you how I'm doing it. And so then the company pays me to do that.
You're the walking billboard.
Exactly. I'm a walking billboard. And people want it, but you know what? Not everybody reads billboards. And that's one of the things that I have really had to embrace, that not everybody reads billboards. Okay, that's fine. But I'm now to the point where I would rather reach out to somebody and say, hey, you know, would you be open to hearing about this? And have them say no up front, rather than having them come to me 6 months from now saying, Barb, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? So now, hey, this is what's available. If you want it, great. Contact me. If you don't, okay, great. That's true. You know, yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's in another wellness company too. I mean, the wellness people, we all tend to talk to each other. And I was just saying, I said, you know what? I talked to one of that he's not ready yet. And I said, you know what? And he was trying to be so apologetic. I said, you know what, sweetheart? What you do today is not going to change how I sleep tonight. I'm going to sleep tonight, whether you do something today or not. When you're ready to do it, then you'll do it. You're the one that's feeling the way you're feeling. I'm the one that can help you to not feel that way. Well,
you can take care of their problem, their pain, their challenge.
So it's everybody has their own timing. I look back on me 30 years ago, I was desperate. There were days that I literally could not walk. I couldn't walk. I couldn't breathe. I had a headache every day. And I finally said to my doctor, I said, so there's got to be a better way. And that's when I actively started looking. And I told everybody that I knew, hey, I'm looking, I've got to get better. There's got to be something out there. And that's how I got into the wellness space, because a friend of mine called me up and she said, Barb, we're going to a party on Thursday night. I said, what kind of a party? She said, a shake party. I said, well, what's a shake party? She said, I don't know. Why are we going to it? She said, because my daughter is having it. She told me I have to come and I have to bring someone. So you're it. Well, that shake party started my journey and it changed my life. Wow. Because now you are seeing the benefit of going to that one shake party and being open to hearing about something that could possibly help. And that's changed my life.
So it's amazing. Like I said, that's why I always want to just give you so much love and kudos for that, because I'm glad you took that You basically said, see, this is where I love how you said your journey, your story a minute ago, because you basically said, you know what, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. Basically, that's what you said. It's like, I need to find, and but literally you were sick and tired.
I was
dealing with your health. And you just said to yourself, you know what? I'm going to find any means necessary. I always tell people, that's when you say to yourself in your mind and in your heart that I need to do something. And that's what you did. You didn't just sit back and just say, well, whatever.
Right. And the thing is, for me, it was my wellness. It might not be wellness for you. It might be your relationship. It might be your income. It might be whatever it is. If you have a business and you need more visibility, well, call Barb. She knows how to get you visibility. Just be open to any of the situations. And like Rita coming on, hey, you need help with your automation? Call Rita. She's got a great, she's got a great program to help you to get your automation gear. Mm-hmm. Find people who are doing what you want.
Yes.
Find people who are doing what you want. And then but you might not find the very first person, like the company that I started with. I'm not with them now because you know what? Science has come a long way.
Yeah.
And and coaching has come a long way. What you do now, social media has come a long way.
Yeah.
We started out with what? Facebook? Now look at all the platforms that you can find your platform.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I think that people have to remember is that you can't be everything to everyone.
Yeah.
Pick your product, pick your platform, pick your niche. Mm-hmm. Like with me, there would be no point in me talking to a 25-year-old who was a new mother. Yes, I was that at one point. However, that's not who I am now. So be specific.
Yeah.
Find out what they're looking for. Like a new mom, they might be looking for somewhere to exercise where they could take their baby and do exercises with their baby. Well, if you happen to know how to do exercises with a child, hey, get it out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get it out there.
So true.
Don't limit yourself. But don't try to be everything. I talked to one guy and, because I do a little bit of marketing with people too, because, well, my company is Trends in Marketing. Because that we have to have wellness in our relationships, wellness in our physical body, but we also have to have wellness in our wealth, which is our business, our income, those kinds of things. And so he was saying to me, I said, well, what do you do? And he gave me a whole list of things. Okay, but what do you specialize in?
Mm.
And he said, well, I can do this, and this. And I went, no, what do you specialize in? What do you absolutely love to do? He said, well, I like to do this. I said, then that's the only thing that you talk to people about. And you find the people who want that. He said, but what about all the, no, you can tell them about that after you've attracted them.
Mm-hmm.
After you've attracted them. Like with me, I tend to talk about wellness, but if when somebody comes to me and they say, well, and now they've got their wellness in gear, and then it's like, yeah, but I'm having trouble with my child. Oh, okay. Well, I can help you with that too, but I don't lead with that. I can help them with that because of my relationship, because I'm a personality science trainer. But it's like, find the thing that you, and then have a strong opinion on it.
Yeah,
you cannot tell me nutrition does not work.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Have a strong
well,
opinion.
Just like this, like talking about, Miss Rita. So we're gonna bring her on right now. But one thing I just want to say before we go to our sponsor and then bring Rita is, like you just said, I always tell people, a confused mind is a confused buyer will not buy. They won't.
Yeah,
they really won't.
A confused mind doesn't buy.
Yeah, that's not going to buy. So you got to make sure that you really hitting on one point, saying what you say. I mean, saying what you do, and then lead by that. And then from that point, then you can open up the whole shop after that to them. That's okay. But
when Rita comes back, let's go to, and then when we come back, I'll talk about Wayne Dyer.
Okay.
Yeah, let's bring Rita on. She's a sweetie.
I don't know this song.
My body becomes like a cement. Oh my God.
That was the better one. The song
Okay. Oh my God. It's like magic. Literally like magic. Oh my gosh. That was
Good
amazing.
morning. Good morning, Rita. How are you doing?
Good morning. I was fascinated by that sponsor you just played.
Me too. You know, and that's the thing. Some people, one of the things that I work with too is some people like to ingest. Like with me, I tend to be a shake girl, so I like to drink things. I like to drink my nutrition. Some people like to put on technology. Those socks, I'm fascinated. I'm going to probably get a pair because I'm a prevention girl.
Yeah. And she was in a bad, just to let everybody know, she was in a
people.
Accident. Oh, can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She was in a bad accident and it hit her nerve system. I mean, basically just really screwed it, basically messed it up, Irene. And she found the company that had those socks. As soon as she put them on, I mean, it stopped everything, her shaking, everything. And I was like, oh my God. Amazing.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
And isn't that what we just talked about? Find the thing that absolutely is you and then go share it with the people, because then the companies will pay you to do that, to be a walking billboard.
It's funny because she's a walking billboard because now she's
a walking billboard. Exactly.
Yeah, and that company might have a lot more products, but her deal is testimony for that product. And then you can discover more products that they have.
Awesome. Yeah. Right on.
So Rita, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Yes. Two tries a charm. I know last week we were supposed to, and then technology, internet, all that, and then we said, come on next week. Come on next week. So
that's right. And happy birthday, Barbara.
Thank you.
So, Miss Rita, tell us before we get into the conversation more of it. Tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, great. So I am an entrepreneur. I'm a speaker and an author and a photographer and an automation expert, and I'm an Air Force veteran. And so all of those things together, I've had such a blessed life, and it's exciting at times. I lived in Europe for 6 years, and I lived in California and Texas, and so I got to have lots of great adventures. I learned so many things, and I tend to go for the technical side of things. Like, that's left brain, right? Yeah, no, right brain. I'm right brain. So even in photography, people think, oh, you must be really creative, but I go for this setting on the camera, this angle of the sun, this thing with that kind of reflection, and it's all about the technical side of photography. And that's why there are as many different kinds of photographers as there are different cameras, you know. And when I started my professional photography business, I felt like, oh my gosh, there's a photographer on every corner here in my town, a professional photographer. And then I discovered some people really aren't professionals. They just have a camera. And then I did discover, thankfully, that there are so many different kinds. So that having that photography business led me to find the automation, and here's how that happened. I had a photography business for 12 years, and I had a day job, a full-time job the entire time, because I never could get a steady income out of my photography business, partly because I was spending 9 hours every day not touching it or thinking about it, naturally devoting that time to my employer, of course, 100%. So my photography business got the leftovers of me, so the evenings and weekends I spent on my photography business. And it's very, very difficult to ramp a business up to the point where you can replace your income when you're doing every single thing, touching every single client at every step of their journey, all by yourself, and you're the only one in the company, which I have a feeling most of the audience for this show are solopreneurs or very, very small companies. And so it got to the point where I started to think that I was never going to be able to quit my job and live my best life, in my opinion, running my business and providing the best photography for my ideal client, until I found the automation. The automation systems, it's a software platform. You put all your information in it, and you run your company with it. And there are several out there that you can choose from. And I feel like I wouldn't even tell you, I love the one that I use and I think it's great, but just pick one and use one. Find out the best, do your homework, find the one that's going to be the best for you, but just use one. It's going to make your life 100% better. And after I found the automation software, I was able to finally quit my job 10 months later. And the reason is because I didn't have to do every single one of those tasks anymore. I could decide when someone decides they sign a contract with me for photography, this and this and this and this needs to happen. So you can set it up ahead of time. I did ahead of time what I would do overtime, and then I set it on automation to be delivered at the right time and through the right means, either by email or text or a reminder to me to make a live phone call or sending a greeting card. So once those things started to happen kind of on the back burner, then the time I had to spend on my business, I could spend it meeting more people, taking more pictures, and making more money. So then I was able to finally quit my day job on September 23rd of last year.
Woohoo!
And I will say I got some outstanding coaching. I'm in Women's Prosperity Network, and that coaching and that automation, that was the perfect recipe for me to be able to launch my business for real and quit my day job.
Wow. Well, Barbara, we're familiar with WPN, aren't we?
WPN. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Wonderful.
And so that's another great thing about being in a coaching and networking group like that. Then it opens up more doors, because I'm here on your show because you knew me from that other organization. And when you're in an organization like that, you're there to receive and to learn, right? But you're also demonstrating your own qualities. Are you on time to meetings? Do you participate in meetings? Are you engaged, or are you looking down here? And so do you provide feedback, valuable comments to the other members? And do you keep your promises when someone hires you to do some work in the group? You're doing an application to be on their podcast or to be on their summit, and to be able to spread the good news that you have to the world through these relationships. So when you're in a group like that, even though you're there to receive coaching and receive instruction, you are broadcasting at the same time your qualities and your worth to the world too.
Yes,
exactly.
Exactly.
And it's so important to get that visibility out there. Like just before the break, one of but you can't be everything to everybody. So pick your lane first. And then once you get famous, kind of thing, like some of the famous people, like Wayne Dyer, Dr. Wayne Dyer, he was known for his expertise in so much of personal development and his classes and courses and everything. But he started with couple therapy. And that's all he talked about was couple therapy at the beginning, because that was where his field of expert was. But then once that's what you just said, then you can expand, quit your day job, expand what you're doing, and people will come to you. But pick your lane first.
That's right.
Find the thing that you love to do. And yeah, automation. Absolutely.
So, Rita, I had a question for you. You talking about the automation. So I know you said your photography, you started there, and now you found the automation part of it. So does that help people like in their, like you said, mostly solar entrepreneurs or so, to help them like when in their business, like, okay, this is where they start, and they can send the link to somebody. I mean, is that how you help people within the business?
Yes, exactly. So, in speaking of niches, I did struggle with my own niche to start with, and I felt like every business on earth needs this automation. I don't want to leave anybody out. So I don't want to say I only serve this specific little slice of business people, right? Well, guess where that got me? Not as far as I could have gone if I had declared a niche. And so when I also was approaching the wrong niche. Now I can't say the wrong niche, but for me, in my skills and a perfect marriage with the client, I was approaching the wrong niche. And so, for example, if I'm going to represent automation software and help companies get started and thrive on automation, there are startups, of course, people brand new. I feel like that's an ideal time to use automation and find the beauty of it, because you're going to start your company out on a solid foundation, right? Then there are people that are 2 to 5 years into business. They are doing well, but they're not thriving because they're still trying to touch every single deal at every step of the way. But they're now just about at a tipping point. They're either going to stay where they are and keep that grind going, or they're going to soar up into the next level that they can do. And that's where I've decided that my niche is right at that tipping point where they have everything still in the owner knows everything that's going on, touches every deal, but they want to level up. And so they need something and someone guide to help them figure out how to put their business into this kind of system where things happen every time, on time, always stellar customer service. And remember, we're in a global 24/7 world. So people are in every time zone you can imagine wanting to buy your product, and you're asleep, right? You need to sleep. And they need answers from you. They don't want to wait until Monday morning or even tomorrow morning for you, because that's late evening for them. They want to answer when they want it. So automation also helps you respond quickly with the right answers in the right way to the right people. So then they can decide that they know, like, and trust you and your product, and they can make a purchase. Meanwhile, you're asleep.
Yeah, I always like making the money while you're asleep. I love that concept.
Yeah.
It's a nice concept. And you know, it's funny, Rita, you're talking about automation, because just to, say it again, what you're saying is so important, is that, even with myself when I first started, and just a little thing like scheduling people on your calendar. I mean, I'll just start with that alone.
Is that little? I think that's big.
That's it. Well, I mean, yeah, that's huge, because trying to, the olden days, I'm just going to put the olden days, where you had to either, make that phone call or send an email and say, okay, what day? Well, I don't know. And then you're back and forth.
Back and forth.
And then it didn't help. Just to add to that misery, I would say, then you got the different time zones that you got to deal with. Then if it's a different country, then it's like, oh my God. So yeah, so I love Calendly. Was it Calendly?
Yeah, Calendly.
That saved my life, because I was able to make that automated quickly, to make sure, just to get people on the schedule and on the calendar. And then I love what it does too, because then sends out reminders. It sends out an email afterward to say thank you so much for being a part of it. I'm like, oh.
All those things are now off your mind and off your plate. So you can meet more people, make more appointments. You can develop a better product or up-level your own offerings. There's so many things you can do to work on your business and not in your business when you automate those tasks. They're very necessary and very important. They are mundane and annoying, and they're not where the owner of the company needs to have their focus.
Yes, definitely. And they could, like you just said, Rita, have more time to hone in on your gift and your talents that you are really trying to do, not sitting here trying to schedule an appointment or, trying to make sure an email goes out or a reminder.
Yes.
So that's so much. I always tell people that's what you want to do. You want to move that stuff, delegate all that.
Yes.
Technology is the key, like you said, and so you can really hone in on what you're trying to do.
Yeah. I like to tell my clients, you do you and automate the rest.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to ask Barbara, you're on mute, lady. Can you get yourself off mute?
I was getting a message, so I tried. I didn't want to disturb. So yeah, and then once in a while I do, because if heaven forbid if a UPS comes to my house and the dog barks, so I never know whether people can hear it or not. So I tend to mute. So that's what. Yeah. So anyway, but automated, it's like one of the things that it's even having something to, if you have, like for Barb, you schedule posts. That's one of the things that I'm looking at right now. I've just heard of a new service that it is much easier. I had one before and I didn't find it user friendly. So you find the one that works for you.
Exactly.
So I've just heard, and I can't even think of the name of it. I'll have to look it up. That it schedules that you can do it once and it goes out. So I'm going to be able to schedule all sorts of things through the month, and then not have to touch it.
Yes. So, and here's one way that I do that. So I do have a VA. People probably think I don't have a VA because I'm an automation expert. Right. But there are some things that automation can't do, like she creates memes.
Yeah, that's what she creates. That's what mine does.
In a theme. So there's a themed colors and they're cartoony, but I feed her information about automation, and then she creates these memes and she puts them up for me. But she builds them in my Canva account.
Right.
And then after about 8 months of that, and I was loving it, obviously. And then I went, hey, wait a minute. These are in my Canva. Mm-hmm. That means I can use them. However, again, I can use them again. On one place. So I started using them on a different platform and just picking out the ones that I wanted that she had already created. It was like mind blown.
Right. Exactly. And then the thing is, like I can tend to like on a yearly schedule. So now I've had her for a year. So now I can go back last year. And that's why one of the things, a little tip, don't put dates on things. I try hard not to put dates on things. Mm-hmm. Just because then it becomes an evergreen. So like if I'm a guest on another podcast, you know what? Yeah. Can you send me a graphic that doesn't have a date on it?
Yeah.
Because they don't.
And you know what? I even take it even further. I would take it even further about don't put dates, because repurposing is I always say repurposing is your friend. It's your friend. Yeah, exactly. And even when you're interviewing, like say you're on an interview, I mean, you can control your own. If you're interviewing, you control it. But when you're on somebody else's, I mean, you probably won't be able to do it. But I tell people, don't say the day. You can say say the day. Don't even say the day. Just say, hey, I'm happy to have my guest on and stuff. Because then at that time, you could take that video, download it.
Yeah.
And then you could repurpose it on another day to play it. Yeah. And it doesn't have to sound like, well, you were celebrating Christmas.
Right. And it's July.
It's July.
Yeah. And, speaking of that, for both of you, I listened to a podcast, Red Beard Radio, and he had a guest on that I listened to today. And this is the man that created repurpose.io. And that is exactly what we're talking about right now. Yeah. You can take your audio or your video or your written content and repurpose it into another form or break it up into little snippets and have quotes. Oh my goodness. I'm excited. I came home and got ready.
See, that's why we do these shows. I'm going to shameless plug here. for this show. That's one of the things that Barb and I pride ourselves on. We bring people on that can teach us, myself, totally selfishly, that will teach me things. So now I'm going to go look at this.
Yes. And so it's repurpose.io.
Repurpose. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to try it myself. So after the broadcast, then I'll be checking that out myself too.
Yeah. I always tell people, I talk to people because I deal with people with, really increasing their visibility and increasing their social media ability too, because, that can be a jungle, I tell people, but we don't have to make it a jungle. And I said, use what you have. You have they're talking about, the first thing I hear is, I don't have no content. I don't know what to put out there. And I'm like, okay, did you do videos? Have you been on shows? And I go through the whole list and they're like, yeah. All of a sudden they start thinking, and I'm like, there's a lot of your content right there without you having to recreate content in the beginning. And I said, just like you said, Rita, you take snippets of your video, especially you might have said something that was just like, oh my God, mind blowing, or mic drop blowing, or a quote or whatever, and people have their own quotes too. I always tell that to Isabel. And you take it and you post it and you put it in places, so I mean, repurposing is our friend, and it saves so much time.
And what if you have a book?
A book,
and I'm writing my book, and so therefore I am an author. But when my book is finished, oh my goodness, 1,000 little snippets can come out of a book, and you can repurpose those.
Exactly.
Exactly. So that's a part of automation too. And I tell people that's part of it too.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No.
Well, and we were saying a minute ago about being a guest on other people's podcasts, and so there's a whole process. You want to. Once you find someone you want to be on their podcast, you want to get their attention and give them information about why you're the ideal guest and what you can bring to their audience. You can write those things up and deliver them over time, so you don't have to keep thinking about these 5 podcasters. I still want to reach out to them. Anyway, it's mind-boggling. So you just put all that information on auto deliver, and they get to see you. And then once they see your name a few times, when they need a guest, guess who they're going to think of?
Right. Exactly. And it is awesome when people come to you and go, hey, would you be a guest on my show?
Isn't that great?
This is
like,
but it is, the thing is that there is method of going into it, because you can't be, like we talked about, you can't be everything to everyone. So pick and choose which podcasts would you want to be on. Like I did one interview with a gal, and it was like, no, there's no way. I, number one, would not have her on my podcast. We just didn't click. I want to have people on my podcast that are, like on this one, that we're going to get along together, that we can have a conversation with.
Exactly. That energy is so important. And so you discovered that before you invited her, right?
Yes. And I discovered that before. So that's why I do a pre-interview. I happen to already know. So it's just, do you want to come on the show? Okay. So that's always nice. But if I don't know somebody, I will do and it's labeled on my calendar. Hey, and if you want to set up a time to come onto my podcast, here I do pre-interviews. Here's my calendar schedule, and I send them. And if they schedule, great. If not, okay, it's their choice.
Exactly. They can self-eliminate out of that, right?
They can self-eliminate.
Here's a good example. I was going to have a one-to-one recently with someone I met on a networking group. And the purpose for me of the one-to-one was that we could work together because we serve the same audience.
Yeah.
But when I got to her scheduling link, it was very clear that we're going to find out how I can serve you. And I don't want you to waste my time, and I don't want to waste yours. So if you're not ready to work on your business, and I was just like, oh, okay. I'm going to back out of this because I do not fit this description at all.
No.
And so
I'm looking for collaboration partners. Let's collaborate together.
And, she reached out again because I made an impression on her, and she was looking for me to book my spot. So I said, well, here's what I read, and I didn't think that I fit in there. And she said, oh, you're right, I have a different appointment for business meetings. And so she sent me that one. So, but if she hadn't followed up with me, I wasn't going to waste her time. So.
That makes sense.
Right.
That makes sense.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the time flies so much when you're having fun. So I love that.
Oh, it's the time is up. Oh my goodness.
So, but we want to make sure, Rita, that, you know, we get any last take that you want to tell the audience, and then how they can contact you.
Yes. Okay. So I want to make it easy for all business owners, because a lot of times they feel like automation's for the big boys or for this other kind of business, or I'm not ready for that. And really, if you're in business, you're ready for automation. And so I have an ebook that's free, and it's 25 things that any business should automate. And I'll give that link to Barbara. And so you can download that free ebook and just browse around in there and start to be amazed at the things that you can automate in your business. And I am having a website built right now, so it's not ready yet. And so my LinkedIn profile is Rita Fillinger Thomas, and that's RITA FILLINGER, good German name, and Thomas, THOMAS. I would love to connect with you through LinkedIn and see what we can do together to help your business not just survive, but thrive.
Yay. Yay. Well, Rita, we just appreciate you being on the show. Barbara, as always, she brings us the wonderful guests, and you are just a wonderful, awesome, amazing.
I am so honored to be in the presence of these two BBs. I love that. And thank you for the opportunity to spread the good news to all the business owners that you don't have to be overwhelmed.
Yes, thank you so much. You are so much in need. So thank you. And I tell everybody, please reach out to Rita, and we will make sure that the link for her 25 things to know, because I can't wait to see that. And we'll post it under this particular show so people are able to get that link. And thank you for just being so kind to do that, and just your time. So with that, yeah. So Barbara, any last things that you're doing before we sign off for today? Uh-oh, she's on mute again.
Next month, June, is our anniversary month. So we are going to have extra people come on the show. And Rita, we're having prior guests come on. So come back one of the Tuesdays in June. And we are going to bring in some past guests next week. We've got Carol Henderson. She is Life by Design. We're having Regina Bergman, Power Profits with Principles. And I think we've got one other, the one who hasn't confirmed yet. But Rita, if you want to come on next week, come on.
Yes.
We're
celebrating our anniversary.
Yeah,
so
we're going to do it kind of as a panel. Everybody just, share what's happening, and, so yeah.
Fantastic.
You are welcome to come to the party.
Come on to the party.
So with that, thank you everybody for watching Time to Shine Happiness Show with the BBs and Miss Rita Thomas. Please reach out to her, lovely individual, golden heart, and she will help you with your automation. And we will see you next Tuesday on our first day for our anniversary celebration.
Anniversary, 2 years. 2 years. Count them. 1, 2. 2 years. Yay.